so I don't have to cast it entirely myself.
I would bring somebody else in here, if nothing else. Just because I don't want this to be a total bust. Like, I know how this should be set
Under
up,
advanced global audio time offset, does that change that at all?
No, that's also 0 setting, or 0 milliseconds.
Mic sync fix hack, try checking that.
I checked it and I just restarted the stream. I'm hoping that it does something. But, it looks like it might be
good. You still have your roommate stripping in the background.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's gonna do that no matter what I do, so it's all good.
No, it looks good now.
Killer! Hopefully it doesn't fuck up again if I change to a different view. I think that's what does it, is I think that it's switching views, but I'm not positive. They hit each other yet? Nope, another misdrop. Okay. Okay, let's hope it stays good. I'm just gonna... I don't think there's much I can do at this point other than pray. Hopefully checking that box did something.
Okay.
Alright, killer. Sorry about that, guys. That was a total fuck up on my part. Let's all blame Raffle. Amateur hour is shit.
It's my fault somehow.
Oh, that's right. It's always Siri's fault. My bad. Okay, so looks like on 10-minute delay, they just had a missync on against BSK, so we're waiting for everything to get taken care of. Checking box for magic. Okay, so let's talk about something. I don't know, man. Looks like they are not suiciding, because that's not a thing that's allowed in this game. You're not allowed to leave a match early. Anybody who is part of a 12-man drop that's watching right now, just hold off until we can get this set up. I think, hopefully
or please hop onto Mercstar and we'll coordinate this.
Yeah, anybody who is dropping 12s right now, please come onto the Mercstar TS, and we will find a way to get this happening smoother, because just having to wait for missyncs is kind of ridiculous. But we have private was that latest tweet? Private matches are coming in April?
With the launch module, yes.
The launch module. Baller. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, Trent. Come on now. Dude, fuck Skirmish. I hate that match. Have you had to drop on it at all, Siri? Like, competitively?
No.
It's literally the most terrible thing ever.
I know, right?
Every time, like the few times that it's happened on like Forest Colony or River City, when I just tell everybody to hide in the cave and wait for them.
I was dropping with Trevelius when they first came out, and we were having a back and forth about it, and I ended up calling it intellectual laziness, just because you don't have to think about strategies.
You really don't.
He's not letting me forget what I called it. But I stand by my assessment.
I mean, you don't have to... It's not... There can be tactical engagements, and you can go for tactical like flanks and all that stuff, but you can't get... There's no way to threaten cap or anything like that, so the only way to win is to kill every single other mech, which if the other team is way heavier than you are, it's just not going to happen a lot of times. Okay.
So they are going for attempt number 4 at sinking with any luck. This will be the one, and we'll have one in 10 minutes.
Hopefully. Come on. No one likes
In the meantime,
Skirmish.
Raffle, do you want to talk a little bit about the, like, maybe how this league came to be and some of the other leagues that we have going on?
Yeah, sure. Okay,
and starting up soon.
Yeah, right now we have the Remnant Invitational, which was a designation, or which was not a designation, which was designed to be an interim league in between seasons of Merrick and Arhad. Both Arhand and Merrick ended just before the holiday season end of last year, and Remnant wanted to... Did they fail again? God damn it. Well, okay, they wanted to set up an interim league, something that we could play in between the major tournaments, so they set up the Remnant Invitational. It's gone pretty well. There's been some fun matches. I know you guys played SWK the other night, and that was really interesting. But then, not only do we have Arhad and Merrick coming up, but we have the MRBC league now too, which should be very interesting. Looking forward to the new season of leagues. Hopefully it'll be more good matches to cast, provided my sound doesn't keep fucking up every time I try and do this. And you're actually, I've never actually played an Arhad series, but you have, so it's quite different than it was last year. What are some of the bigger things?
Well, one of the main things
Oh
is...
shit, they got a match. Sorry.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, so guys, that means in... Oh, that's right, 10-minute delay. That means in 10 minutes, we will have a match to cast for you guys.
Yeah, the big difference between this season and last season is that we have smaller divisions, and we're intending to do double round robin. What that means is, last season you would come up against somebody in the first or second week, they might beat you and be like, grr, I want to get back at these guys. They beat us good, but we're gonna improve and maybe take them down later in the season. But since you only played everybody once, you'd only really have that chance if you got into the playoffs. So the double round robin, hopefully you'll get a little more familiar with the teams you're playing and try and get revenge on them if they end up beating you. But also, we've changed up the drop decks. It used to just be, well, bit of history. First season of Arhad, it was all class-based. You were allowed to bring, say, 3 assaults, 3 mediums, 3 heavies, 3 lights. Excuse my random ordering. Second season was entirely tonnage restrictions. So 540, 620, 700, 780, etc. This season, it's a random mix of both. Magician had 5 class-based restrictions and 5 tonnage-based restrictions, and then he randomized them for every single week. So it gives you a different balancing factor to consider around.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for it. I think it'll be cool. And then Merrick is also starting up, which I'm not going to talk about a ton because I'm having Tony on specifically for a Merrick episode of Warroom this week, which is probably just going to be Tony talking about Merrick the whole time. Maybe some of us will get to weigh in. But,
and patch notes.
Oh yeah, and patch notes. Oh god, we get cockpit glass tomorrow. I'm so excited for that. I know it's like the least important thing ever, but I love the little immersion stuff. And then you had speculation about the next mech, the Firestarter?
Yeah, that's going to be coming out on February 4th with the UI 2.0 patch. They're not releasing all of the mechs. They're going to be releasing a hero mech on February 4th. And I'm assuming they're going to follow their previous pattern and release the regular variants for MC the week after. Mm-hmm. And then on February 18th, they'll probably release the normal variants for C-Bills. They haven't actually confirmed that it's the Firestarter, but what they've said is that it's a 35-ton humanoid controversial mech. And so looking at that, there are only so many that it can be. Panther and Firestarter were some of the leading guesses. On the last NGNG, where Russ Bullock was actually on, people were asking him, like, hey, can you give us any hints? And, like, is it the Panther? And he outright said no to the Panther, and there were a couple others being thrown out there. And then Jaeger, who was on the show, asked, hey, is it the Firestarter? And he just got really quiet and didn't say anything more and was just like, I'm not going to confirm if yes or no what it is. You'll just have to wait and see.
Didn't expect there to be such a prime Battletech nerd in the room. It was all like, I know every humanoid mech.
Everybody is a Battletech nerd.
Dude, everybody. Most people in this game are Battletech nerds. But to those that aren't, we love you for coming to the game and supporting it, etc., etc.
But assuming... We're pretty strongly assuming that is. If it's something else, oh well. I just hope it's something good and not Locust quality.
Dude, I can't even remember the last time I saw Locust in game. I saw it like Everybody played them the day they got released with the Phoenix package, and then nobody played them because there was one asshole who's like, I'm gonna run my Street Cat, and he got 12 kills per match, and then nobody picked out their Locust anymore.
I just ran my Jenner.
Did you really? You bastard. Did you even buy the Phoenix package?
No.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But actually, I saw a couple last night, just after the latest matchmaking change, where it opens up the brackets quite a bit in terms of skill.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I bought a Misery on this latest sale because Miseries are so damn good. The first drop in it, I got like 5 kills, 900 damage or something like that, and I was like, this feels too easy. And then I saw your post about the matchmaker, and I was like, oh, okay. That there might actually be something to that. I'm not just crazy.
yeah, it's been a couple days, but
Leave it to me to
playing.
not trust in my skill, to think something is wrong for me to be doing well.
You've probably just been playing too much Han.
Dude, it says something about my personality that I play a fucking MOBA to calm down after MechWarrior. One of the most rage-tastic games of all time, and I'm like, oh, I'll just play one before bed, it'll calm me down, no big deal.
The question is, are you brave enough to solo queue?
Oh god, no. Oh god, no. I don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. If
Didn't
I
think
did
so.
that, I would actually just be mad the whole... Well, no, I might be less mad, because I wouldn't have people to just yell at through TS. But, who knows. Lego Dota 2 sucks, because it has built-in delay. That's all I'm gonna say. We're not gonna get into a MOBA debate. This is a show about MechWarrior, goddammit. And I'm looking at Carp's stream, and it looks like they are all ready up, about to launch, so hopefully, as soon as I see him in-game, we'll be able to actually start shoutcasting a match for you guys. Holy god, I know, right?
In any case, if you're just joining us, we are on the first drop between Comstar Titans of Rage and Blazing Aces. It is a 575 tons drop on Assault with no restrictions. And that, like Raffle said, that should be coming up in just a few minutes. I'm Siriothrax from SJR, and with me is Raffle Waffle, or Waffles, from 228.
What I found out is that people spell, oh god, you revealed my true team for the first time on stream. Whatever will I do? Not that everybody didn't know. What was I gonna say? I forgot. Oh well. It's just one of those things. Best of 5 match. We've got, hopefully both streams are going to be showing up just fine. I'm assuming they will. Provided my overlay works, provided my mic doesn't shit itself again, etc, etc. So this is the, if I look at the standings really quick. Oh, okay, so BSK actually won the game against C-Reddit. That's good. That's new since we actually started the show. So hopefully BSK is no longer in the queue. So the winner of this game will go on to face Blackstone Knights.
And the winner of that game will go on to face SWK.
Correct.
For the losers bracket finals.
And so
do you have the... Okay, so you do have the bracket up?
Yeah, the bracket's up. If SWK beats you guys in the finals, then there's another match between you guys, correct?
Correct.
I'm just making sure I'm watching the streams diligently. I only have so many monitors, and I want to make sure I catch this when it comes up.
Sorry, I had to think about it in a moment.
No,
it's
all good.
Tournaments I'm used to is just that the winners bracket comes into with a one game advantage.
Mm-hmm. This is a different style than we've seen in the past in terms of brackets. Like you said, Arhad does round robin. Merrick is not even a bracket, and so this is. I like this style though. I like just the bracket that I can pull up and look at. It's nice. Then we had the last LMS match today too between SJR and Wolf Spiders, right?
Yes, Wolf Spider Battalion. They've been waiting on that match to be done for friggin' 2 months.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. SJR was coming in through the top bracket, and the losers bracket was taking a while to get done.
We've got searching on Carp's stream, so I'm going to switch it to the Shoutcast overlay.
You seem to be slightly ahead of me, then. About 5 to 10 seconds.
Well, we're just going to have to figure it out. Also, I think whoever suggested clicking the fix delay time thing, I think they had it right, because it appears that what that was doing was delaying my mic to match the transition in between slides, or in between overlays. So, welcome to the streaming overlay. I know you can't see Siriothrax's face, but that's okay, because we're going to try and get you as much gameplay as possible. This will change slightly, because I need to get the mini-maps more in focus. But yeah. Finally gonna get a game, guys.
An hour and a half after we thought it would be.
Hey, it's okay.
Thanks, Don Eno.
According to my stream, I've only been streaming for 15 minutes, so I don't even know what you're talking about. Just in time for me to finish my White Russian, too. The queue actually takes another 10 minutes, and I'm sitting here looking like the fool the whole time. I hope BA remembers to turn their stream on. Let's see if that happens.
I should hope so.
If not, we'll just be casting from one side, and that is okay. Okay, Siri, why don't you take us a quick tour around Caustic while I fix the overlay?
Okay, well, CTR has brought, let's see, 5 Shadowhawk 2D2s, a Shadowhawk 5M, and a Shadowhawk 2H, so that's interesting. I'm wondering if they're just running AC-20 ER PPCs. And they brought I think that was 3 Jenners and 2 Ravens?
Oh, it looks like we've got both of them.
I couldn't quite catch it. And BA's stream is up as well, so we are good to go.
Holy God, look at this, guys. Okay, I gotta fix BA's stream, or I gotta fix Blazing Ace's stream really quick, and then we are good to cast. Siri, I wish we could
I was completely wrong. It was 4 Jenners and a Centurion Yenlo Wang.
Okay.
I do not see what Blazing Aces has, but it looks to be mostly Shadowhawks as well. On the Blazing Aces side, they're setting up more towards C4, that's the left side, not fully towards the tail. Wow, okay. Comstar Titans of Rage, they've actually split up quite a bit, and I think they're just trying to cover all the angles and get scouting intel.
I think you're right. It looks as though they're moving up into the D3 area. I think they're going to try and hold that ridge, but they've got a lot of mechs behind them. I can't tell if Carp is just scouting or not.
Well, like I said, they are running those ER PPCs, so I think they're just trying to sit back a little and get a couple of free hits before it goes into a full ball.
They're gonna want to try and keep them at a distance, whereas I can't see BA's loadout as well.
BA is running large pulse lasers, at least on Chad, who is our streamer.
Okay, well that's...
so they're going to be a bit more short range.
Yeah, that's going to be brawly, but this is an AC-20 ER. Wow. I don't know how I feel about that build. It's so hot, especially on maps like this. But we'll see. It looks like BA is far more grouped up there, right along the far side of the caldera, along the left side ridge. We'll see. Looks like neither of them are trying to engage right now. I think they're just getting all set up, whereas CTR is holding in the back ridge. I have to say, I'm not sure if I like the holding on the back ridge. I've never done that, or I've never employed that as a strategy. It could work, especially if BA is as brawly as they appear to be. But with such a light drop, I mean, they're going to have to be spot on their shots, or they are going to get closed on really quickly.
The interesting thing is it's almost down to the 12.5 minute mark, and we haven't seen a strike from either side.
That is actually really a good point. Both streamers appear to have one. It looks like Chad only has an arty, but Carp has both air and arty.
And I think CTR has started to narrow down where exactly the BA forces are, just completely grouped up in what we call the stage, the corner of that is C3, and they're probing a little bit with their Shadowhawks down the D3.
Looks like Tad just took a arty hit. Switching between streams now. Okay. Back to the dual overlay.
Actually, some of the Shadowhawks from CTR, they're running Gauss and ERPC. So that explains why they totally do not want to get into a brawl.
Yeah,
Uh,
BA is really heavily clumped up in the C3 quadrant, just on the back of the caldera.
as we speak right now, CTR is sending some of their lights out to the salt flats on the right-hand side just to get angles and strikes
Yep.
From safety, and perhaps draw a little bit of the attention away from the D3 line, allowing the rest of CTR's Shadowhawks to move up.
Yep, it does look like they are pushing simultaneously into D2 and D3. This is CTR trying to get positions on the side flank with both their lights and their mediums.
As long as CTR doesn't get too over-aggressive and turn into a full brawl, I think this is going to end quite well for them. BA is getting very clumped up, and that'll just let them get worn down with strikes.
Yeah, I agree.
So
especially...
BA may want to start thinking about making an aggressive move, perhaps through the caldera, up until like the E4 corner, and then spilling out.
I agree. The ridge along the far side of CTR's favorite side of the map is so good for jump sniping because it's so sharp, and the sharper the hill, the easier it is to jump snipe. So I think that provided they take that ridge and can draw BA into them, it's going to be a very favorable engagement. But it's 10 minutes now, and we are yet to see any kills or deaths.
The lights are actually fighting very aggressively down over by the tail. I can't tell whose side that's going towards.
Yeah, me either. Neither of their streamers are anywhere nearby. Looks like CTR is getting closer and closer to engagement. They're right around the corner from each other in D3C3.
Yeah, and if you look, they've got the AC-20 guys probably up close in Delta 3, and they've got the more ranged ones down in Delta 2.
Exactly.
The threat here is that they're so close to the base that BA can't really move their Shadowhawks at risk of CTR just running straight through C2 to the base and forcing them to come back.
Already down on CTR.
Of course, they could bait that out and just let them get on the base and strike the shit out of it.
Yeah, it does look like... I think BA is throwing down some arties, but I don't think they're getting any solid connections. It looks like they are moving across the caldera into E4, trying to swarm the opponent's light mechs. It looks like CTR is moving forward. I think they're going to go for a base cap.
Yep. So BA has to hit these lights, take one or two out, and then return immediately with their Shadowhawks, so their base is just going to be completely gone.
Yeah, and at this point, it's almost nothing BA can do. They're just sitting there watching while CTR moves towards...
Well, they have been spotted. So, like I said, they can hit these lights. If they can get 2 or 3 kills, well, CTR thinks they can make this move.
BA is up on kills. They have 1 kill, and it looks like the streamer, is actually moving back towards base. You think he's going to go and try and deny cap.
Yeah, so
looks like CTR...
They need enough. They need damage on the cap, and they need their lights in there.
Yep, CTR's lights are completely surrounded right now. I think the one that's back there is completely legged. 2 kills for BA. CTR is capping base, but I don't know if they're going to be able to cap it fast enough. These are all medium mechs. They move quickly.
Well, I mean, you have 8 guys on there. It's moving fast.
It really is. Yeah, and DeChad, the streamer, is almost on base. He's got to get on there right now, though.
And like I said, there are the strikes coming in. They're tying them up pretty bad. The risk, again, is that you need the strikes on base, but the strikes can kill your defender.
Yeah, it looks like they have at least 1 or 2 mechs. They're swarming in, trying not to put too many mechs on cap, trying just to... Oh, nice kill from DeChad. CTR mechs are going down left and right. It's actually even score right now, though.
Yeah, this is actually a good scenario for BA. They just cannot make a mistake and get off the cap. CTR might be pulling this back.
I think they might be. It's crazy, especially with those high heat builds, but kills are still tied. It's a huge brawl on the base. It's hard to tell kind of what's going on. Big RD drops.
CTR has pulled back a kill advantage. It's 6-5, but that score can be deceiving considering Carpentier, our streamer for the CTR side, has no weapons left.
That is true. Oh, it looks like his stream has frozen a little bit for me. Oh, relying on... Oh, there, it's back. 6-6 tied score. Bunch of leg mechs for CTR. 7-6.
BA has pulled back ahead.
That looks like 8-6 now for me. Yep, it looks like BA is pulling ahead. They had the brawlier builds. I have to say I'm not surprised. It isn't over yet, though. This could still turn in favor of CTR. Oh, and a light mech gets legged for CTR. That's going to be a huge thing. Yeah, 10-7. I think BA's got this one, Siri.
I would concur with that.
That was... We'll bring up the map here after that's over, but to me that seemed like on a 550 drop, you know that they're going to be able to respond quickly. Or 550 or 575?
575.
575. On a 575 drop, you know they're going to be able to respond quickly. So I feel like baiting with your lights like that is so risky.
Well, they did pull ahead, CTR did, with
true.
the kill advantage, because Blazing Aces, they were straggling in,
Mhm.
just trying to rush it. And that's the advantage they have, taking up that position.
The game goes to BA. Good first match.
I'm hoping the rest of this series ends up as tense.
Yeah, that was a great match. Okay, let's bring up the map really quick.
I would actually suggest that after we get into the main engagement, we pick one side and go with it.
Okay, that works. Okay, Siri, you should be able to see the map now.
There we go.
Alright,
It's possible
so...
to zoom out a little bit.
I mean,
I guess we don't need to.
I'm zoomed out. You can do whatever you want to.
Okay.
That was a really fun match. I really enjoyed that. It was really close, which is always good, especially for us casters. What do you think? Oh, Tony and those guys wanted in on the analysis.
Let's do this first, and then if we don't get a sync, we can pull them in.
That works. Okay.
Alright, so should I just summarize quickly what exactly happened during that?
Take it away. I'm down with that.
Okay, off the bat, BA located most of their guys in this area and a few down here, and they had a couple lights just poke the sides a little. So they were very defensive off the bat. I need a different color. CTR set up with their snipers, their more sniper-oriented Shadowhawks on that hill, and a few of their brawlers over here. So they had a good separation between the two elements so that if they got rushed, they would still be performing pretty much in their natural environment. And they actually had their lights, same as BA, split quite a bit across the map in order to suss out where the enemy was staying.
So the move that I found odd was that they sent their lights in here as a distraction to try and pull BA away from Cap. But what that did is it left their lights very exposed, and I think that was probably the order, was that they wanted them to get into a brawl and try and hold them up as long as they could, because their two other lances moved up like that, and then from there, both went to Cap. But what happened, I mean, it's a good strategy in theory, but on such a light drop, you're going to have a problem where they can respond so quickly.
Well, hold up, back it off, get rid of the last yellow arrows, if you can. What ended up happening was their lights came down into here, and... Oh god, where's the eraser?
I got it. Got confirmation. They have synced again already, so...
The group that was down in the Salt Flats actually moved and rejoined the main group, holding this corner here, which is a very pivotal corner. So the CTR lights moved out into the Salt Flats, and from there, like I said, they should have been able to just get eyes on the main group and put all their strikes down. And you want to do that before you move your main group out. Just completely soften up the Blazing Aces Shadowhawks, since they're all grouped. Mm-hmm. From there, the mistake was they didn't see Blazing Aces lights come straight at them and get within 200 to 300 meters and turn it into a light fight. If they had been able to move into the Salt Flats, drop their strikes, and get out without getting caught, then I think this game would have gone very differently. But CTR was put onto their back foot because the entire time their lights were being harassed, and they ended up losing that light fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fight was being chased into this area, and
do you think that
and BA pushed out across here to get those quick kills?
Yeah. Do you think that do you think that CTR's goal was to win the light fight, or do you think that their goal was to draw them away from Cap? Like, do you think that when CTR, God, so many acronyms. When CTR sent their mechs along into the salt flat, the light mechs into the salt flats, do you think that was purely a diversion, or do you think they were trying to just draw their lights out into a fight?
I don't think they were looking for a light fight, considering how split they are from the main group. I think maybe a bit of a diversion to take the heat off their main group as they moved up, and a bit of just an aggressive strike opportunity. Because the thing about strikes is you can drop them from way outside anybody's range in these matches. So you could be a kilometer away and still just put a good strike on a guy. But I think their execution was flawed, and that put them on a bit of a disadvantage. They reacted well, rushing to the cap, and from there
I'm supposed to tell you to lean back.
It could have gone either way. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. No, I completely understand. I do it too. You gotta put your webcam front facing. We do have confirmation for those of you watching the stream. They did hit, so we will be having another match here shortly for you. Just waiting for that to load up. I have to say, I mean, my instant reaction is that I think going for cap on 550, unless you have a complete, like, unless you're on Alpine and you know they're really far away, you might be asking to get like a brawl on base, which kind of sucks because for CTR, they had those long-range builds. They didn't want a brawl. I think maybe pulling into the city and trying to get into a situation where they couldn't have been air-artied as easily, where they had to pack through tighter corridors, might have been a good idea. But overall, that was a really close game. And, I mean, you said it yourself, CTR was up on kills. They drew them back, and they had the chance to shoot them from long range. They just couldn't bring them down in the brawl.
I actually had another choice. Are you able to clear the markup here? Because I can't see how to do it.
Yeah.
That's not the markup. That's the whole goddamn image. Okay.
Then I can just repaste it. It's way easier.
Cool. So CTR was here. Sorry. Blazing Aces was there. They pushed through Caldera. Their lights were running over the here. CTR was set up right here and right here. The alternative option for CTR was maybe trying to get their guys on the corner here, just over top, and pick off 1 or 2 quick kills while they're running away. And whether they push this group to cap or move them into support.
Oh. That could have been good if they would have moved their lights just along the same way they did, but then feinted being like totally screwed and had them pull them back along that ridge. I wish I had the grids up. I'm sorry to both us and the stream. But if they could have pulled them over that ridge, they could have hopefully drawn their entire force after those lights through the caldera and then just pop-tarted the ridge on their side. That could have been good.
Right, because at that point, the Blazing Aces team was strung out all the way along there, and they were not very cohesive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that at that point, CTR felt that their lights were a lost cause and that they should just sacrifice them. And try for the cap.
The trade might have been, 2 or 3 of their light mechs for a couple of mediums, which in such a light drop is actually not a very good trade.
The other thing they might have done is, instead of their lights running this route, which if you look keeps them fairly close.
Oh, matches up.
They could have run more away to pull some more distance.
All right.
And we have another match.
Indeed.
This time it is the 675 out of... We are seeing the heavy Siriothrax style from CTR.
Yep.
Which is what we ran into, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Did not get a full count.
BA is also running Siriothrax and Victors. So it looks like they're going for, my assumption would be kind of a fast build, which on Alpine might favor them. Did you catch what the rest of CTRs were?
I think it was about 5 or 6 Siriothrax. I saw Shadowhawk and I saw 5 lights, I think.
Okay.
I'll try to catch another glimpse of it. I can go to our stream and check.
There you go, perfect.
And I missed it already. Damn.
Oh, balls. Okay, well, it looks like they're doing... looks like they're doing the standard thing that you've always got to do on Alpine, which is regroup. My assumption would be... It looks as though BA started far side. I'm not sure... Low side.
Blazing Aces started on the west.
Right, there you go. Thank you.
And CTR started on the east.
Now for me, I always like to get my mechs up on that high ground in I-9 because if you're starting on the side of CTR, because I feel like it just gives you a huge advantage. Not only can you shoot down, but you have infinite avenues of movement. You can go anywhere, whereas from the other side, it's really kind of a crapshoot. On assault, you do have the option to kind of hold and hope that they come to you, but we'll see what these teams decide to do. It looks like BA is taking the H7 G7 hill, that ridge, and yep, CTR has taken the upper ground in I9.
Okay, sorry, I got a better view of CTR's drop deck.
Oh,
They
great.
have brought 5 Cataphract 3Ds, a Stalker 3F, a Shadowhawk, 2 Jenners, a Spider, and 2 Raven 3Ls.
Okay.
And
Wait,
from
how
what
many
I've
Jenners?
seen out of Blazing, 2 Jenners. So 5
And
lights total, 2
And
Jenners, 2
3
Ravens, and a
Raven,
Spider.
3 Ls. Oh, that's got to all be for
2,
ECM.
2 Ravens.
Oh, 2. Okay, okay.
What I've seen out of Blazing Aces is entirely Jenners, so it's going to be very hard for them to bring those to bear. Whereas the Raven 3Ls on CTR's side, they're running 2 ER large lasers, and this is the perfect map for that.
Oh yeah, because
you're running cool, you've got long sight lines, and it is going to hurt.
yeah, and you're especially hard to pick or to see. It looks like BA is sending a couple of its lights up around the radio tower. Most of its lights, actually. I don't know if they're going for cap or if they're just going to try and lay down some arty. Might just be for scouting too.
They're probably going to be trying to pull the CTR lights into an engagement on the cap. The problem with that is from where the hill is, they can just strike the cap and harass it before they really need to go in. The cap used to be all the way back against the east cliff, and it was moved pretty much into the middle of that industrial complex.
Yeah.
And I actually disagree with this because it makes it far, far too easy to... Ooh, ouch.
That was a brutal...
Blazing Aces has actually lost one of their mechs to a strike, and I think that might have been one of the big mechs, too.
Oh, balls. That's not good for them. Did you... it was probably a headshot. We all know how you feel about those. So it looks like we've got a standard jump snipe war going on. BA is really tightly grouped up in G6, G7, whereas CTR is holding quite spread out on the top of the hill, I9, H9 area.
Yeah, they've spread out across that entire plateau, and that makes them a lot less vulnerable to strikes, and gives BA a lot more areas where they have to focus on the counter snipe.
Yeah, BA...
So this position is definitely in CTR's favor.
Oh yeah,
by
that's
a long shot.
It's always what I try and take on this map. Yeah, BA is very grouped, which always worries me. It's something that we've been practicing a lot lately. It looks like, yeah, they're all spread out along that ridge line, following it straight back all the way into F5.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am completely wrong. It was Blazing Aces killing one of CTR's mechs. I have my screens on the wrong side.
Good job. Good
which I'm assuming is a strike.
Thank you, Sir Trent the Howl. I don't know why I call you Sir Trent the Howl, because it's all the way your name always looks to me in Twitch. Okay, sorry, back to actually casting this match. It looks like we've got a bit of movement out of BA. They seem to be shifting farther southward. It would appear as though we've got a Shadowhawk moving up for CTR as well. Oh, he seems to be all by himself. Oh, no, there we go. Yep, CTR is also moving up. They've shifted some of their mechs farther forward from I9 into I8, H8 along that ridge. It looks like both teams are kind of moving southward.
Well, what BA is doing here is they know they're up 1 kill.
Oh, yeah, they're pulling back, of course.
They realize that they are in a bad position. They don't want to stay there and just get picked away at. Because again, CTR, they like their ER large lasers, they like their Gauss, and if BA is running a more traditional setup, they won't have the extreme range that CTR does.
Yep. CTR is trying to hit them with arty as they run away. I haven't seen any very good connections. They are forming up on the H7 ridge. I guess they're gonna have to maybe go for a push.
Yeah. So the other thing this does is that in the positions they were, CTR was far too close to the base for BA to even attempt a cap. Because they're up 1, they can pull back, get CTR further away, and then at the same time, CTR has to press in order to get that kill back, but they also have to be careful about all those Jenners running around either the south or the north and just getting on base.
I don't see... It doesn't look to me like BA's light mechs are making any move towards cap. It looks like they're content to just sit here right now until... Yeah, it doesn't appear like either of them are making... Other than an initial kill, they're both playing very tight games. Obviously, CTR is going to try and keep it at a farther range because they've got the more long-range setup, especially with those Ravens. So, I don't know. If I were BA, I would just sit back. I wouldn't even try jump sniping. I'd make them come to me because they have the more brawly setup.
Well, you kind of have to in order to keep your eyes up.
It's true.
But you're right. When you jump, it allows... One trick about strikes that hopefully most people know is that if you put a strike on a mech, it'll go to the mech's feet. So what that means is when there's a jumping mech, if you aim your strike at that mech, it'll be directly below him. Which means most of the time, as he drops down, he doesn't have momentum, he can't get out of it. So it kind of acts as a lightning rod when you're jumping.
Yep. Which is a good mechanic, I have to say. Oh, it looks like CTR's base is under attack. They are already shifting back. That might be dangerous. Those lights might get caught out. It looks like they have mechs. Oh, yep. Light mech goes down for BA.
And that is rough. Could not see if that was a strike or an actual kill.
Me either.
But right now,
their light mechs are just getting pounded.
Yeah, they're sticking around, and one of them's trying to run out the south entrance. I don't think that's going to end well. He's running right through...
Right past Carp.
A firing line.
Legs are almost down.
Most of the rest of BA's lights are taking the smart way out, which is going all the way into G13.
Looks like we're still even on kills. BA is moving the rest of their heavy mechs up, but they're getting harassed the whole way by these 3Ls. Those ER large lasers can keep them at a huge distance and make them really mobile. The one thing that this might do... Oh, second kill for CTR.
And that was the Jenner that ran in the south. The thing here is, though, if that Blazing Aces can respond quickly, they may pick off a couple of these guys left on the plateau. But by the looks of it, they are far too overextended to make that happen.
Yep. Fourth kill goes to CTR. It's the shitty part about this game is that it snowballs quickly. Looks like BA was already fairly heavily damaged, and they're just going to take more and more of it now. They're out in a very open spot. There's not much they can do.
I think the big deal was that the Blazing Aces lights were scouted when they were trying to go for the cap attempt. If they had managed to swing all the way back in stealth, and maybe their bigs had baited in the other heavies, they could probably have taken that quite easily.
I don't think the lights lasted as long as they wanted them to on cap. I think you're right that CTR just responded too quickly. Another kill for CTR. This one, short of a miracle, I think is going to go to CTR.
That's the other thing about having the big hill. You can, if you spread eyes to every side of it, you can keep, just good scouting all around.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some ways that you can sneak around, but
and we've got
not that many.
Streamer on streamer kill. Carp takes down the Chad. Yeah, it's last one left. It looks like is Rygat, and I can't actually tell what that mech is. I think it's a Shadowhawk.
So that was a close, tense game to start, and then one mistake kind of just...
Yeah, it could have been really close. I wonder if they knew that their lights had been scouted, or... yeah, well, it's tied up series. They're making it interesting for us, I gotta say.
One thing of note is that was the perfect map for the style that CTR likes to play.
That
with
was.
The ER Large Laser Gauss.
Okay.
And they did a good job of watching their back, and it paid off.
Final score is 12-1 on that match. It was a spider that they lost at the very beginning. It was Nuber that went down.
We actually killed Nuber on our 4th game by putting strikes on him. It was Crimson straight, and he was on the hill, and he peaked a few times too many. So I'm wondering if that's the same thing that happened here.
Those, I mean, strikes are just so dangerous. Doesn't matter how you weigh it, it's scary. Okay, so that was a pretty back and forth match to begin with, but I think the real thing is, oh, I gotta change the score really quick. Talk for a sec.
Are we going to be doing a analysis on it? Oh, you're
Yes.
ahead of me. Okay.
Come on, Siri, watch the stream, man. No, it's fine. Yeah. So that was kind of a back
we have so many tabs open.
Dude, I know, right? I need 5 monitors instead of 2.
Okay, so that pretty much went BA grouped up. Am I using the correct color? I'm using the wrong color. Can you erase that?
I suppose.
I'll be consistent. Blazing Aces moved up to this ridge. Raffle.
I can't erase it. Sorry, deal with it.
Okay.
Pink is gonna have.
They moved up to that ridge. They had their lights actually probe over here along the comms hill in order to keep CTR worried about the base cap. And what I was talking about during the actual match was that the base cap used to be all the way back here. During the patch that changed the spawn locations, PGI changed the cap to right here in the middle. And I actually don't think this is a good change, because it puts it far too close to this entire ridge that is within PPC distance. So you don't even have to go down in the fen. You've got stationary mechs just sitting there that you can murder.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas over here, you actually had to give up the center and move back.
Yeah. And I think that cap being right there allowed for CTR to just turn around so fast, put air already on their base, and then mop up.
Right, and if you compare it to the other side, like, look at this distance. This is where the west side cap is. Like, you have to go all the way back to, like, there in order to defend, when you really want to be up here. So it's not even for both sides.
Not in the slightest. Yeah, it's hard because I don't know. I feel like BA in that situation could have sat and been okay. I feel like they could have just kind of camped their base and waited, and I don't feel like they needed to pressure cap.
So that entire game, CTR just took up this entire high ground plateau here.
Yep.
And from there, like, you can fight pretty much anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... man, I don't know what I would have done with BA's composition. They pulled back, which was good, but at the same time, I don't remember watching the time closely enough. Personally, I would have stayed. I would have stayed back in... Let me actually get a pen. I would have stayed back... Oh, you can't see that in the slightest. I would have stayed back here and held, as opposed to sending my lights up and around. Because you're right, that base is just so hard to cap. And I mean, CTR even moved up to that front ridge, but they scouted the lights moving back, so there's just no way that they could do anything about it. It's a tough choice.
I think they might have had some success if they just, instead of thinking about capping, because again, beating Dead Horse near impossible here, they could have maybe sent all 5, hopped up as a unit into color. If they had sent the roommates, if they had sent the Jenners up and tried to pick 1 or 2 of the light mechs off from the back, or even one of the big mechs, they were running 5 Generafs, and that's math, 150 points of alpha. That's any mech dead from the rear.
Yep.
And just because CTR at that point, they had to be focused on trying to get shots on the big mechs.
Yeah.
And just trying to find an opportunity to get one more kill, get another one, and just slowly grind away and get a steamroll. instead of being far too over-aggressive and going for the cap.
Sorry, I can see the look on your face. You're getting slightly frustrated. Don't worry about it. I don't care. Yeah, I feel like they could have harassed. They could have brought their light mechs in, like you said, around the back. But personally, for me, it doesn't make sense to even bother with that. Like, you've got to either wait for them to drop off that ridge, or okay, yeah. So you've got to either wait for CTR to drop off that ridge right there, and form up and try and push on you, and then you can send your lights in. Because at that point, they have to go all the way around to get back. Like, that drop is a very big deal. So
Exactly. The moment you want to be going for the cap is when they commit off that hill.
exactly.
Until you do that, it is premature to be doing that cap move.
Mm-hmm. And even if they do drop off that hill, you pop-tart them until they move up onto the side of this hill, and then you shift back towards your base. Like, if you're trying to just keep that engagement going, you can constantly stutter step backwards. There is a nice series of hills here where you can just kind of pull back, jump snipe them for a little while, and then keep pulling back, and keep them having kind of a never-ending charge into you. And provided that, your pilots are good enough at reverse piloting, etc., it's a good strategy to use. Oh shit, they've got a game.
Okay. Oh, okay.
My bad.
It is...
Or is it a misdrop?
No, it is the correct one. From Blazing Aces, we have 5 Highlanders, 2 Victors, 3 Jenners, and 2 Spiders. And from CTR, we have...
4 Highlanders, 5 Jenner... Or, sorry, 5 Highlanders, 5 Jenners, a Cataphract, and a Victor. And it is on Alpine again.
So, fairly similar loadout, except... CTR opted to go with 5 Jenners and a Cataphract, whereas Blazing Aces cut 10 tons off their light, and by taking 2 Spotters, and upgraded the Cataphract to another Victor.
Mm-hmm. It looks like this time we have CTR spawning low side, so reverse sides this time. I'm assuming that, yep, it looks like they're going to move to regroup in H6, I6, and on the other side...
And surprisingly,
are they not?
Neither of our streamers are using Ultra AC5s. I don't know if I approve of this.
Do you not use Ultras?
No, I don't know if I approve of this because they're bringing standard AC5s on a Highlander. When I think there's no, you have the tonnage.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, bring the Ultras. It's 1 ton more. Then you have the option to double tap if it's appropriate, or just single tap. There's no downside. It's 1 or 2 heatsinks isn't going to do much for you, except in Carpenter's case, because he's, again, shown the propensity for CTR's desire to snipe, and he's brought an ER PPC on a Highlander.
Yeah, that is an interesting choice. I feel, so especially on this heavy drop, where mobility isn't necessarily... actually, wait, was it BA that brought 5 Jenners?
No, CTR brought 5
CTR
Jenners.
brought 5 Jenners. What did BA? BA brought...
3 Jenners and 2 Spotters. We don't know loadout on the Spider.
Yeah. I feel like those Spiders are probably...
potentially have ER large lasers, and this could be kind of a flip of last match.
Mm-hmm.
Except, Blazing Aces, they are taking the plateau, because it is
the smart move,
quite a dominant position from this side.
Yeah, especially in such a heavy drop.
CTR they're kind of sitting back, just very interesting setup down in the south. They might be thinking about moving up to the ridge now. But...
yeah, Blazing Aces is taking this ridge. It's the smart thing to do. It's the best spot on the map. It's the easiest place to jump snipe from, and you just have a huge advantage over your opponent. They are doing the same thing they did last match, though, which is they are very tightly clumped up on that I-9 hill, which means that they will be vulnerable to air and arty. Whereas, again, it looks like CTR is very spread out, trying to avoid the possibility of getting artied. So what we're seeing from CTR is, I think, they're moving radio tower? Is that what... are you seeing that too? Siri, your mic is muted or something.
I am pressing the wrong push to talk. Just the worst.
It's okay.
They're slowly moving in the direction of Comstar, but they're spread out over pretty much a full kilometer with their heavies. And that's not really something you want to have happen. It
No,
means
it's
that if you
not.
do have an opportunity, then you only have 3 guys on it. It's not so big right now when you're just moving into place, but when you're doing a push,
You've got to be
the
tight.
difference between like a team that's good at pushing and a team that's bad at it is the good team's going to be like 100 meters front to back on 6 assaults, and the bad team's going to be strung out over 500 meters. So, Blazing Aces, they are sending their lights, it looks like, to probe the south.
Yep,
Very
and
clumped with ECM coverage, so they may... Oh, they
they're
are spotted.
They are spotted.
By CTR's
I was just going to
lights.
say, if they weren't spotted, that would have been a big play because CTR does appear to be moving radio tower. But that's not true. They're jump sniping the G7, H7 ridge right now. Wish we could get eyes on those lights, but no casualties either side yet. It looks like both teams have all of their lights on that far south side. Both of them are watching for that cap.
Slight difference between the two is that looking at the lance markers on the top left, Arander's Jenner is down to 80%. The Chad is at 81% in this Victor, whereas Carpenter's Lance of Highlanders is all 99% to 100%. So I think CTR has done a bit more work with their ERPPCs and strikes, but it hasn't been anything crippling yet. Python 3 has killed Python. What just happened? One of the lights... one of Blazing Ace's lights either striked himself and died, or overheated and died.
On this map, it's almost got to be a strike.
You would think.
I wonder if he got legged.
There's definitely a strong light fight going off in the south. We can't really see it from our perspective, but they are trading kills back and forth. It was one for
2 kills now.
2 down from Blazing Aces, and 1 down from CTR.
And the jump snipe battle still keeps going with the heavies, but really it's whoever wins that light fight, because whatever team comes out on top on lights is not only going to have a mech advantage, but they're going to have the entire speed advantage. And BA's stream just froze a little bit for me. Oh, there we go, it's back.
Yeah, now that CTR is getting grouped up, it looks like BA is putting down much more effective strikes.
Yeah, I agree, but they are pushing that hill very forcefully. They are all along. Man, that would be a brutal arty or airstrike along that ridge. Getting some stuttering on the BA stream.
And we just got confirmation that Python's death was a suicide strike.
Oh, okay.
Not intentional, but he dropped the strike, he got legged, and got stuck inside it.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks... Yep, that's another kill for CTR.
So it's down and a 4th, so it looks like Blazing Ace's light lance is not coming out on top.
They got probably
that is
one more
probably
left.
A factor of having 5 Jenners to 3 Jenners and 2 Spiders.
Mm-hmm.
The Spiders, they're hard to kill, but they really don't have as much offensive potential. And Jenner F's on Alpine, it's a cold map, and their weapons, 6 medium lasers, very hot. So they have much higher DPS than what a Spider would bring to the table.
Yeah, it's still not over yet, to be sure, because all of... yeah, and see, there we go. BA just picks up another kill. Their heavy mechs are, it looks like, pushing. Yeah, their assault mechs are making a push towards H8, I8 along that ridge, and I think CTR is going to have to back down, or they're going to find themselves in a brawl very quickly.
Yeah, speaking of cohesion, this isn't a bad push coming out of Blazing Aces. If you look at that mini-map, they are pretty grouped.
They were all spread out, and then they all converged on a singular point, and if they continue down this hill, they might get into a very good brawl. But it looks like they might be holding here to jump snipe. The one problem
and if you look at the mini-map on CTR's side, you see those Jenners, they're looping around the south.
Yep.
So...
Do you think they're going to go for
Blazing
cap,
Aces
or do you
is
think...
working against the clock here.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're definitely going for the cap.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of CTR is just dropping back to bait Blazing Aces in.
Yep.
And preserve that advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, BA is taking it to their heavy lance. They're almost equalizing on kills. If they can land a couple more and... Oh, another kill for CTR. But if they can land a couple more kills on this assault lance and then pull back in time to defend their base, it could be theirs. But they've now, because... I wish I could get... Yeah. CTR's lights are almost at base. They're pulling around the I-9 hill right now. Oh, and the Chad goes down.
One thing to note here is that actually having the high ground right when they're just below you, it's actually very hard to get your PPCs on target because you're limited by the.
Yep.
I believe it's yaw. Yaw is the correct word. Yes.
Yes. No. Yaw is side to side. Pitch is up and down.
No, pitch. Yes, pitch. That one.
I almost know how planes work. Yeah, it looks like it's clean up at this point for CTR. 7 kills to 4 their favor.
Yep, they're up on kills and they have the better position, and it is safe to call it GG at that point.
Well, I can't tell how
No,
damaged.
it is.
Oh no,
they
yeah,
have nothing going back to delay.
Yep, lights are on cap. It's over. But another good match. The light. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna give props to Blazing Aces for actually winning the heavy fight.
Yeah, that was an impressive. They did a good job there, but in the end, it just came down to they lost all of their lights, and you can't win if your base is being capped.
And I think that's been the story of the last 2 games. Is their lights have been a little over aggressive and a little out of position. And so they may need to just be a little bit smarter about when they're committing into fights with the lights.
And after
that puts us up to 2-1 in terms of games, in favor of CTR. If you're just joining us, the next drop, the weight is either going to be 575, 675, or 775, decided by Blazing Aces because they are currently the underdog.
And Blazing Aces, I mean, they really came out with a commanding lead in that first game. They showed us some good piloting and some good tactics, but it looks like I feel like CTR really took that to heart and is doing their best to push back 2 very in-charge games for them on Alpine.
Like the second and third game, it's kind of what I was saying about CTR, is they're comfortable letting you make the aggressive move and then reacting to it. And that Blazing Aces would have to be very smart about the sort of pushes they made. And I think in the first game, they had that. They returned, or they pushed out, they got 1 or 2 light kills, and then they returned in time to save the base. Kind of making it a 12-on-4 at one point and then a 12-on-8 at another. But I haven't really liked what they did in the second and third games with their lights.
Yeah. We have. Do you want to do the map analysis, or do you want to bring in Nanner and Tony, see what they have to say?
Let's bring in Nanner and Tony. This is a good point to just get a summary of their opinion on the first 3.
All right, welcome to Nanner Hammock and Antonius Rex, who are our co-analysis guests tonight. I'm going to get up and get myself a drink because I'm getting very thirsty. But Siri, I'm going to let you ask these guys a few questions about the match and just generally talk about it.
Oh, I see how it was. I was going to go get a drink. But
I mean, you can get one when I get back.
So
welcome, guys. Introduce yourselves.
We're just going to leave these guys in charge of the stream.
You guys are horrible people.
No. Siri has to stay. Siri has to stay until I get back, and then I'll stay until Siri gets back. It's perfect. But introduce yourself, guys. Say hi to the stream, and tell us what you thought of that match.
Hey guys, it's Antonius Rex, one of the guys from SWK, and with me is
Nanner Hammock. I'm from SIG.
So, what'd you guys think of that game? It was kind of hard to see what was going on with those light max, just because
I would have liked to see that.
The few points that would have been great to see, but so we can only assume that was some good light play. But when they, I want to talk about that push. That push was actually really well conceived. I mean, it was unfortunately too little, too late, but they were able to link up very quickly with a herd of Highlanders come screaming down that hill, and just the way they use that hill they're running down onto as cover, they managed to clear like 250 meters or more with their Highlanders without. They only had like that one guy on the edge who was really getting shot at, so that was pretty impressive. And then they got in there and they actually beat them in the fight. So, props to them for a good effort. But unfortunately, losing that light lance in the beginning, that's game on a map like Alpine.
Yeah, a lot of what I saw was they used their arty strikes very well. They saved them and used it for that push. I've seen other teams do it, and I'm hoping to implement a lot of that in some of ours. Use that for your push. They have to push back. You push in. They can't shoot while you're throwing arties in their face. Nobody wants to stay in that. It's a death
Nanner
sentence.
getting on the stream and shamelessly stealing strats.
Hey man, that's what you gotta do. I am back, by the way. Thank you for excusing my absence. Siri, if you want to get up and get a drink, you're more than welcome to.
I didn't really need to be here. Tony just kind of took it over.
Oh, baller. Well, good for Tony. I mean, that's kind of what he does. He just talks.
Just
I think we've
talk.
established that.
Never
Good shit
shuts
done.
up. Be right back.
He shuts up whenever he sleeps.
So,
you go.
I am sorry I missed it, but in general, what did you guys think of those last two matches? And I mean the first match in general, too.
I want to talk about the second match a little bit, but if you want to talk about the first match, Rex, go for it.
Well, let's pick one to start with.
Yeah,
then do the other.
go with the second match, Nanner, if you want to have something to say.
Well, I was going to say, okay, we all know but Blazing Aces lost the battle because they went for the cap and up and around.
You mean
But
CTR?
Really,
Oh, sorry, second match.
in
Sorry,
the second
go
match.
ahead.
No, yeah. But I don't know if you noticed, whenever their lights went for the cap, their heavies moved in. Now their heavies had to cover a lot of ground to get to them, but eventually they got to them. That was the whole point. As soon as those lights started moving in for the cap, their heavies were supposed to move in. They already knew that they were in kind of a bad position to go and attack. You can't attacking up that hill is really tough whenever they're up on that I-9. About the only option you have is to go around to radio tower, and that's a long walk through a lot of fire. If you don't do it at the beginning of the battle, you're pretty much sunk. I mean, as far as getting shots, and having those large lasers on your lights made all the difference. I mean, you've got 2 more mechs out there doing long range damage than the other team. And it's kind of a gamble, because sometimes you'll get an arena map and you're like, okay, well, all right, and then sometimes you get this drop and just they could have used them a little better, kind of gone on the side, but props to them for winning with them. I mean, they did a really good job sniping off the hill and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and Blazing Aces came. That strategy they tried, it could have worked amazingly well. I mean, they were arguably losing the fight, even though they were the 1 kill up from that lucky strike.
Mm-hmm.
But if they had fallen back, what they needed to do was watch for all those guys coming off that hill, because those lights can't take the base while there's the massive guard tower of an entire team looking there. So they just needed to be a little more patient, have the lights really dig far into one of the flanks to stay out of sight. And then the second their team jumped off that hill, then it's time for the lights to pounce. But they got a bit of the timing off. They were under pressure, right? It's not an easy thing to call properly.
Mm-hmm.
But there was potential there. They could have had that really well. And I think it was a good play by them. They got the timing wrong. And unfortunately, that really screwed them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, once they got spotted, the entire Comstar team descended upon them and just had their way with them. And that was the game, right?
It looks like
Yeah.
we have a match coming up on Frozen City. I'm not sure if it's correct, but let's take a look and find out.
It is a good hit.
All right, good hit. Thanks for coming in and talking to us, guys. We'll try and get you in between the next one if we have enough time.
All right, Roger.
Thanks, guys. All right, for CTR, it looks like we have... this is the 5 Highlanders, 5 Jenners, Victor, and a Cataphract.
So they went with the heaviest drop again.
Yep.
It was BA's choice this time around,
Mm-hmm.
and that was 775 tons.
No, BA's looks like the same thing as before. No difference.
So we have a rematch on another frozen map, but much, much smaller this time around.
Indeed. Oh yay, we get to watch the haze that is this map.
So here's the thing. Blazing Aces showed us a very good push last game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they're just going to go full aggro, group up, and take the fight right away, and maybe avoid getting striked to shit?
Man, that
Especially
would...
if they know that the enemy uses like ERPPCs and costs, which aren't very good in an aggressive brawl.
That would be my assumption, because I know that you they're good enough to know to play to their strengths. So I feel like if they do anything short of going for that really aggressive murder ball that they have shown that they're very good at, it'll be trying to distract with their lights. Maybe they send a mech through the caves, try and feint a base cap, and then push in with everything they've got to try and pick off a straggler or two. But I honestly, we've got to see what develops. It looks as though CTR is pushing towards far south, bottom of the dropship through C4. They've got Carp up on the top in the armpit sniping. Whereas, BA is actually holding back. They're playing fairly conservatively, sitting in B3, holding in the city. I feel like they're almost worried about taking a push from the hill.
And on CTR's side, they've got just Carpenter in the pocket, and the entire rest of the assault group down in the C4 low dropship buildings.
Now, I feel like this might be a really good feint. If this is intentional, keeping Carp up there to preserve appearances that they are holding behind that ridge, BA might be kind of lax. Oh no, BA has scouted them on the far side, I think. We've got a couple arties down in that direction.
Well, while we've got the chance, I'd like to point out that Blazing Aces has brought the spiders again.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, the light lance on CTR's side with 5 Jenners is going to have a lot more punch.
Yes.
And if Blazing Aces does just push in straight away, and they're not careful, and their lights don't screen their rear, they could find a couple of their assaults going down before they even realize they're getting hit.
Yeah. Each team is trading air and arty right now. Looks like they're kind of at a standpoint. Good shot by Carp. Hits a Highlander. CTR is very spread out right now. Ooh, Detach takes a huge arty hit.
Not really. It was...
Oh, yeah, all left side. Never mind. I was like, that's a lot of damage to his gun side, but then I realized I was not looking at the mech correctly. CTR is very spread out. They seem to be pushing from a lot of different places at once. I feel like those are their lights in B4 kind of harassing, while the rest of their heavy mechs are holding behind the dropship trying to jump snipe. Whereas again, we see BA being very tightly clumped, and BA is indeed sending some of its light mechs through the tunnel, is what it looks like from that mini-map there. Chad and the other heavies are trying to deal with the light mechs along that left flank, while I think... Oh no, lights are being called back, is what it looks like. But there was a feint there where BA was heading towards the tunnel entrance.
Well, they were sitting all in C2, ready to run through the tunnel if they saw full commit out of CTR.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what they're seeing instead is that CTR has moved up to the dropship, just jumping along its length, and the lights for CTR, the 5 Jenners, are just floating around B4, C4, trying to get just sort of angles and a few harassing shots in from 400 or 500 meters away. It's kind of risky if the other team has crack shots. You don't want to be losing one of your Jenners as they're just floating around.
Yep. And I think BA is playing very passively. They don't want to lose this game. They want to keep it going to another one. But at the same time, CTR has shown that kind of passive wait for BA to make a mistake kind of thing, that is their game. That is how they've won their 2 matches. So I think we're getting kind of a standstill here for a little bit. Component destruction off of Carp, I don't know on what.
Well, actually, this style that BA is set up in on the buildings here, it is very close to what BSK ran against SWK. And that ended up working out well for Blackstone, because they were able to get tons of strike down on the swords before they could move in. And
it's certainly a good
looking
position
at
to
the
have.
percentages of CTR's Highlanders, I don't think that's the case this time around.
CTR
they're still in 90% or above.
CTR isn't committing enough to a full push. They're being very methodical about this. They're sending their lights around to make sure that nothing flanks through them. Nothing flanks through Jenner Alley or through B4, and then they're just kind of sitting in a loose cluster, on the ridge, staying in cover, jump sniping when they can. Yeah, it's tough because I feel like BA's strong suit is their brawling capability, so I feel like they should have tried and taken it to CTR from the get-go, but at the same time CTR fanned out right away and would have given their light lance hell if they had tried to push in.
Well, I think one of the factors in why they didn't ball up and push right away is the split spawns. The side that they spawned on has a lot harder time grouping up and getting to the ridge before CTR's side can arrive in cover and set up. And that's one thing that before the spawn changes, this was a very, very balanced map.
Oh, it does.
I think it gave a slight advantage in that early game setup to CTR's side.
It does appear that CTR has committed over the hill. It looks like they sent a light back to scout the tunnel, making sure that nobody was coming through, and they've... I mean, not that cresting back is hard, but it looks like they are trying to gain ground on BA's side of the map.
Yeah, they're slowly advancing those heavy mechs up, and they've just got... Like, you see one light in B4 just watching the back of another light down in Jenner Highway in the A column. And you see one just watching the cave exit in the back and doing loops around.
Now this is
to make sure that they have full tabs.
This is the position that you were talking about, where it does become possible for BA to get more and more arties on them, but they've really got to take advantage of it, and I feel as though they may have already used a lot. They might not have the arty count to do the damage necessary if CTR decides to push. But that being said, we are 7 minutes and 55 seconds left, and there are still no kills on either side.
This is going to be one of those games that ramps and ramps and ramps and then falls apart very quickly.
Yep, I agree.
Because both teams are staying in the poke phase of the game.
One team is going to decide to make a push, and I honestly don't know who's going to take it.
I'm curious, because Don Eno in chat said, dude, fuck headshot arties, and I'm wondering if one of those is going to happen. So
I would have to imagine. Oh, we're even kills.
CTR are pressing up into
that they
Jenner
are.
Highway.
We are even on kills, one each.
Don Eno just died to It's Alright With Me. I'm assuming that's the headshot arty. But in return, it looks like CTR killed one of the lights for Blazing Aces down in the tunnel. The lights for CTR are now falling back, and Blazing Aces are in hot pursuit. But another mech for Blazing Aces just went down. I do not know what that is, but it was the sniper. Actually, it looks like that was another one of the light mechs, so...
Yep, CTR.
This may turn into a repeat of last game where Blazing Ace's light lance goes down.
I think you might be right about that. We'll see where it develops.
But the thing is, on this map, that's not necessarily as bad, because you're much closer to the cap. Last time on Arctic, they had no chance at all, even if they had sent, right away, a guy back, of stopping it. But here, you could potentially pull that off.
Yep. 3-2 in favor of CTR. Checking mech percentages.
The mech percentages are looking...
in favor of CTR.
Yeah, slightly. One of those is a spider, though, but...
Yeah.
Like, Star Lancer's Victor, 91%, the Chad, 79%. But as we see, that's mostly just his left arm being gone. And Rygat at 77. Whereas the entire lance for CTR is in the 80 to 90% range.
Well, the important thing to note right now is that CTR is up on kills, so they do have the option to pull back, but it looks like they are holding their same spot. So they're comfortable there. I guess they want to try and make a fight of it here, or I wonder if they're just not paying super close attention to the position, because it does look like BA is kind of moving up. They've all shifted into B2.
They're grouping up for that push, and looks like they're going out left to B4.
I think they can take this, honestly. I don't think that CTR is prepared, and yeah, the fire starts coming in on them.
And, well, if you remember... Oh yeah, wow.
Big already down.
CTR completely by surprise.
Yep, CTR was not ready for that push.
Even though it's 2-3 in favor of BA, the kills that they got, those were on big mechs.
Yeah. 2-3 in favor of CTR. Push is going on, no kills as of yet, but CTR has been forced to retreat back to the other side of the dropship.
Wow, look at Hotel, look how damaged he is.
Wow. Well, that's going to be another kill. I think that BA really needs to keep up this momentum, and they need to keep pushing into CTR if they want to secure this game. 4 minutes and 25 seconds left.
Yeah, if they can keep this push rolling and not stall out, then it's going to be pretty good for them. They have that spider left who can delay the cap if CTR decides to go for the
I am seeing a lot of
desperation cap.
damaged Highlanders over there. Alpha is completely cored. It looks like BA might be catching a couple of mechs in C5. I think those must be the lights. They have stalled, though. They have stopped the push and are just jump sniping back, which, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I don't know if that was the correct move for them.
Well, they had a good... It was okay, because they ended up taking a better cover and continuing to put shots into CTR as they fell back. And now they're moving up to the dropship and re-establishing that aggressive line.
Yep.
So it's not like a full aggressive push, but they're doing a leapfrog in detail.
And tied up 4-4. For those of you watching, the CTR stream is slightly ahead of the BA stream. So now see, this is the thing I noticed. The BA, that they do stay grouped during the sniping phase, but they are very tightly grouped right now as well, which for this push is critical. Whereas CTR is very spread out on the other side of the dropship. They have mechs from D4 to D3 and all the way up into C3.
It's 6-4 for Blazing Aces, and they've taken out most of the heavy mechs. It's just light mechs left to mop up.
Oh,
and
6-5.
Given how healthy...
7-5. Sorry.
It's going to be 8-5.
Oh, 7-7. Damn, 2 kills. That was big.
Oh, that strike just
that was a
ripped
huge
into chat.
arty strike.
This
could
go either way.
Yeah, it's close. There's a lot of damaged mechs on both sides. A completely disarmed Dragon Slayer for BA, but it's holding up one of CTR's players. Another kill for CTR. Another kill for BA.
This is going neck and neck.
This is such a good game.
People talk about, like, I wish we had good games in Pugs, and man, you need games like this where the players are equally skilled in order to get that.
Oh, another kill. CTR takes down another BA player. 9-8, and that's that disarmed Dragon Slayer. I think CTR's got this.
10-8. It's effectively 10-8.
I think CTR is going to take it.
You could have a hero Highlander.
It's just that Highlander and that Leg Jenner. Oh, Leg Jenner goes down 9-9, but it's really 10-9.
9-10.
Yeah. It's 10 to, or it's basically 11-9.
No, this Highlander is going to go down. He's completely crit.
Oh yeah.
So it's one Jenner, he's legged, versus another Jenner who's legged.
And the Jenner is about to go down, completely legged. Jenner goes down, just a de-armed Highlander, and it is going to be CTR that takes the series. That was a great game. Kudos to both sides. Yep, CTR takes the final match, 12 kills to 9. That was really fun. That was such a good game.
Well,
way to go, guys. Giving us some good matches for our first show.
Good matches to both teams. That was...
Yeah. Congratulations to both of them. That was really close, especially that last one. I think BA's strong suit really was that brawling. I'm going to bring up Forest Colony here really quick.
Wait, what?
Sorry, not Forest Colony. Frozen City. Okay, so Frozen City, let's talk about this a little bit, and then we will close down the stream for the night. Let me update the score. That was a win for Comstar Titans of Rage. All right, I'm gonna have to make a win category for this overlay.
Okay. Should I
Yeah,
get
take it
this
away.
underway?
Yeah, I am fine with that. Do you want to bring in Tony and Nanner? I feel like we kept them sitting there the whole time. Might as well.
Let's do the breakdown quick, and then we'll get them in after.
That works. All right.
Alright, so basically what happened was that Carpentier ended up in the pocket here, what we call this little nook and the building. The rest of CTR's heavies lined up pretty much on... Looking at this map doesn't look right from the air, but oh well. It just looks weird. There's no depth to it. But CTR's heavies lined up here, and their lights covered pretty much the entire rest of the map, just keeping eyes out. At the same time, what BA was doing was they were occupying this section of the map, and at one point they had their lights clustered up by the tunnel entrance.
Mm-hmm.
What they were doing with that is, if they had seen CTR aggressively push in and come at their heavies, they may have been able to push just all the way through and get on the base. And since this map doesn't have it, I'm going to draw the bases really quick.
Yep.
Something like that. What ended up happening is that CTR slowly advanced. They kept moving their line up, first to the dropship, and then a little bit further, swinging into the building and hill here. And that was just as BA kind of turtled up in their good defensive section. The reason why this area is strong is because in order to get into it, there's very small gaps between the buildings, and
Those
you
are
can be fairly spread
crucial
out and
air spots.
avoiding the airs and arties. In return, once CTR takes up like the second and third line here, they're pretty grouped and you can get strikes down, and as we saw, Don Eno did get headshot by one of those strikes. I don't know what his percentage was at, but...
Well, yeah, because there was a skirmish down here between...
Yes, that came next.
Yeah, oh, sorry. I thought didn't Don Eno die to that skirmish, or...
Right, I was just pointing out once they moved up the second and third
Gotcha.
line. But yeah, what ended up happening was that CTR started getting a little aggressive. BA was worried about getting flanked either by the lights just coming up top and breaking their lines, or going all the way past to take the cap. Either way, bad thing, especially since they were probably a bit concerned about their light mech's ability to take a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, possibly. So what BA did was they moved their lights back. When they saw the chance, they hopped down and they took that fight. But they did end up losing it. I think one thing BA might have been able to do is send one of their Victors, or one of the faster big mechs, just down to maybe take a shot or two.
Yeah, if I remember
safety.
correctly, they did have like a Shadowhawk, or maybe it was a Cataphract, I don't remember. But that light battle was really... Well, actually, no, what I would describe as the turning point was when they held right here. Because after the light battle, they... CTR was up on kills. So they backed off, and they held here, right on the edge of the hill, right near the armpit. But they didn't scout the fact that BA moved up to right here, and through that push, they evened up the kill count. But what then happened was that BA held, and they didn't continue that pressure. And as we've seen throughout these 4 games, BA's strong suit was really those brawls. They won that brawl in the 3rd game. They completely won the 1st game on brawls. And I feel like if they would have continued from here down to either the south or over through the armpit, I feel like they would have taken this match. But they stopped and they waited to jump
10
snipe.
to 15 seconds they waited,
Mm-hmm.
but it gave a little bit of time for CTR to regroup and perhaps shift their most damaged mechs to the very rear.
Yeah.
For example, Echo, Cataphract on CTR's team, he was Crimson Red from the initial push, but he managed to retreat all the way back from here and ended up here, and he was actually one of the last to go down, and that was good on him.
And they had 2 Cord Highlanders and a legged mech, I believe, both of which survived that push because they waited up, and then they once they pushed in, they did kill them. Yep.
Especially the legged mech. If you push in on that and the rest of his guys are still breaking ranks, then he's not going anywhere. He's a free kill. So it wasn't the biggest detail, but it was probably a small detail that contributed to it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right, let's get Tony and Nanner in here really quick, since they were nice enough to hang around and be fillers had we gotten some misdrops all night, and then we'll close it out. Welcome back, guys. Pretty fun last match.
Oh yeah.
What'd you guys
Sorry.
think?
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was a great match.
So what did you guys think about it? I know we've got a master strategist Siri here, one of the three great generals of our time, but that was a Wheel of Time reference for some of you.
Well, I gotta say that Comstar team, like, props to their players, like Torso Twist Champ 2014. Some of those guys.
That was a
impressive.
very impressive match.
I mean, you don't often see mechs go down like that. I mean, almost more often in comp games, you see cored out CT and, for pretty fresh everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Especially with, I mean, BA has good pilots and good shots, and I feel like Comstar just did a tremendous job of soaking up damage and falling back.
Mm-hmm. I suppose, right back to Blazing Aces, they tried a couple of plays. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, but those guys, you look at sort of where they were 6 months ago, and they are very strong right now. They did an excellent showing tonight.
BA is a whole new team from the team that entered Merrick, the trial possession, last season. They're signed up for the new one, aren't they, Tony?
They did. They signed up
Awesome.
just before game time.
I am very excited.
I can honestly say that we played Blazing Aces, and their overall presence was way better playing them now than they were 2 months ago. So they definitely come a long way, and their pushes, all their pushes were very synchronized, and especially in this last game, you saw them move together, push together, and literally, like, if they had continued that push, I feel like they would have just stomped most of their team, and the Jenners wouldn't have been a big deal.
It's just inappropriate.
It's my stream. I can do what I want. I did, however, mess up. I don't know how to select things over other images. I think I have to set it to a background
Can't get
or
rid
some
of the balls.
shit. Never.
So professional.
It's okay.
It's just a tribute to one of the Blazing Aces players.
It's true. Who played well? Everybody played well. I want to put a thanks to both teams. BA, I believe, may have actually set up a stream for us to be able to shoutcast this, so huge shout out to them. I was really happy to be able to display the double view overlay, which I've been working on for literally ages since I had this idea. So thank you to them, and of course, congratulations to Comstar for winning that match. Do you guys have anything to say in closing about the series as a whole?
I do want to say something about that last game. Comstar, you guys are patient. I know a lot of bloodthirsty kind of players, and whatever, they want to push, they want to kill. You guys held your line, just sat there and sniped, and you gave way to a lot of their pushes and very fluid, very open players. I know that also has an Achilles heel, but that is a tough play. It's tough to keep people reined in like that, and props to you guys for doing that kind of stuff.
And actually, that's a great point. You coming up on that ridge with Blazing Aces falling back like they did. You go back to the example of the BSK versus SWK game, which BSK won in that defensive position. And some of the players on SWK, Twinkie and Final Fortune in particular, talk about a kill box being right in between sort of that ridge and where Blazing Aces fell back to. There's sort of this sweet spot where in our game, SWK pushed up to take that spot and it's taking hits. And you see that actually in a lot of games where that position is just kind of bad to be in, almost from either direction. And so, the Comstar guys showed a lot of resolve, just saying, hey, screw it, we're going to hang back here and do what we're doing. They could have been suckered into that, and given Blazing Aces more options, but they didn't fall for it. They stuck with their plan, it seems, and it paid off. But fucking close matches, and that was a great showing by Blazing Aces. some of those games were, it feels like it was a lot closer series than a 3-1 almost makes it sound. Because there's some close plays.
Yeah.
Sorry, Siri and I are inappropriately writing each other messages on the Frozen City board.
We've only been
Or
here 3.5
appropriately.
hours.
It could have been. It could have been appropriately.
It's true. If there's no more words, we have been at it for a while. I am content with closing down the stream here. Guys, give us some shoutouts. Start with the two of you that aren't actually here.
Aren't actually here. Go for it, Rex.
Well, shout out to both teams. They both played really well. Blazing Aces has an excellent movement, and Torso Twist Champs 2014.
For sure.
Our last game for those guys. So, good games, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it interesting.
Yeah, shout outs to you guys, Siri, Raffle. You guys did a great job. Overlay looks sweet.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And shout outs to Sig. When you get it, we're gonna.
What does that stand for, by the way?
It stands for Sig.
Okay.
It stands for screw you.
I'm just wondering.
Whatever you goddamn please.
All right, killer. And Siri.
Well, thanks to both teams for allowing us to shoutcast this. We're hoping this is the first of many. Thank you to the viewers for sticking with us and watching Raffle fix all his shit.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Thanks to Sace's Beard for keeping me interested in shoutcasting. And a shout out to Arhod Season 3 and all of the other tournaments that are starting up. It should be a very good season to watch.
Yeah, I would, of course, like to thank my guests. Thank you to Nanner Hammock of SIG. Gotta get used to saying that now. And to Antonius Rex of SWK, and of course my awesome co-host, Siriothrax. Siriothrax. God damn it, I was so close. Siriothorax. No, Siriothrax of SJR, who is, basically my co-host now. Helps me out with everything. Yeah, this was a ton of fun. I really want to thank whoever in chat figured out what the sound setting was, because what it was doing, it was delaying my sound to match up with the stream, so that when the overlay changed, it was still the same, which was total trash, and I didn't want it to do that. So, thank you to whoever found that setting. I appreciate it. You're the reason that this went off without a hitch. Thank you to everybody who stuck with me. I know that a bunch of you were here for like all 3 hours or some bullshit. But, yeah, it was a ton of fun. Siri and I are going to try and do this as much as we possibly can for as many games in the upcoming tournaments that neither of us are playing in. So, I look forward to seeing you guys then. And again, congratulations to Comstar Titans of Rage and well-fought Blazing Aces. We are
hoping to cast the BSK CTR game, so when you guys figure out when that's going to be, please let us know.
Yep,
and give us the correct time.
That's a good call. Yeah, so we're not sitting here for an hour beforehand. Siri and I are just sitting here twiddling our thumbs, but that's okay. This is a good match. We got to cast some really fun games. So once again, thank you guys. It's great having everybody out, and as soon as I finish being inappropriate and burping, yeah, thank you, and we will catch you all next time. Warroom will be this Thursday. We're going to be talking about Merrick and the patch notes. Both Siri and Tony will be on. I feel like I should invite Nanner because he's in the room, but I believe Versanex will also be on, and a couple other guests. So thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Later.